what have you changed your mind on during the course of your life? And what was it that made you think differently?
So I thought about this for quite a while, and I tried to come up with a lovely personal answer, but I haven't got one. I'm going to revert back to the politics. I think I changed my mind on two things. I think the first is that when I first got into politics, I was quite a big YIMBY, and I was a let's build high density in the cities type YIMBY. I have since changed to a kind of no construction without reduction type position.
Mhm.
So I think the scale at which immigration is fueling housing demand is now so vast. If you take into account immigration, we need to build over 500,000 homes a year. Well, we haven't. We had a government target of 300,000, and no government has hit that target since 1977. Still, so I I don't think that I am still a. I don't think I ever really was a let's concrete over the countryside YIMBY, but I have now switched
Mm.
to the immigration problem needs to be solved before we do the housing stuff, because whether we reduce immigration or not, there will still be a housing crisis, and quite a significant one. Um, but the fact is that in 2 years, migration has increased the UK population by, I think, a city the size of Birmingham, and we've built 350,000 homes. And that's just not sustainable. And unless you are going to artificially increase your population with immigration forever, eventually there will become a point at which there will be too many houses. Not a bad thing, because everybody gets a second home, but it does mean you've lost quite a lot of your lovely, lovely countryside. Um, and I think probably the thing I've changed my mind on most recently is the belief that the current political system can be made to work with just the right leadership. I don't think that's true anymore. I
Mm.
I, I've been working on a book proposal, um, which is based on an idea from public health, of all places, which is basically called decision space. And so decision space is the kind of range of options that are available to our politicians. And they are constrained by, I've got six different things that constrains it. So it's public opinion, which is increasingly shaped by campaigning charities and the blob, and it's not a real reflection of public opinion a lot of the time. There's political consensus or social pressure. So that's to do with the increasingly um, small range, social range of socioeconomic status that we pull politicians from. There are fiscal constraints, the increasing importance of the Treasury, the OBR, and also, international finance markets. There are legal constraints, things like the ECHR, I'll sign up to international treaties. And so there are six of these different constraints. And they have really, really, really reduced the decision space of our politicians. And I think the decision space is now so small that it basically it cannot offer a solution to our problems.
Mm.
But the only way we can do that is a radical reinflation of the decision space. And so, with the right leadership and the right strategic thinking about reinflating the decision space, I think that can work. But it requires, I think, a vastly different political system. Certainly, I
Mm.
think probably a more expensive one. But we've got we've got government ministers who are going into office with like, I think the Treasury has the most number of SPADs and they've got like 5. That is nowhere near enough to run a complex world important economy with a really important finance sector. It needs to be 50. It needs to be 500. Even really small things like, I would probably take the Prime Minister out of Downing Street and put him in Kennedy Hall. I'd put him on the top floor of Kennedy Hall, and I'd put all the other ministers in various different buildings, and that would be full of thousands and thousands of SPADs whose job it was to deliver the democratic agenda. But that's just one thing. I think we really need to look at the way the House of Commons works. It's essentially become a common room for glorified councillors now. And I say that as an unglorified councillor. And we probably need to look at the way that the Lords works. So maybe the Lords could be used as a pre-legislative body, and you can just kind of leave the Commons to, to rot a little bit, and put the Lords on a regional elected basis where they have no constituency function whatsoever, which would create an incentive for political leaders to put forward people who are experts. Maybe we have to move to an American cabinet system where you can just choose the best people for the job, regardless of whether they're in the Commons or not. We probably have to look at membership of the OBR. We have to massively roll back quangos and NGOs. And I think this will be such a radical reorganization of our governmental system. It will be much bigger than even the stuff that Blair or derogatory or Thatcher delivered. And I think you're looking at something, that's probably not been so big since Great Reform Acts or Northcote Rebellion, really. So I'd say that's probably what I've changed my mind on most recently. Thanks, Keir Starmer.